Rightio. Tonight's video, we are going to be talking about a big debate that's currently, a big problem matter issue in our world today, and that is the gender debate. All right. Now, just before we start, just before we start, if anyone finds anything offensive or if anyone, takes things to heart, it's probably best not watch this video. Because as I said, we're speaking from the truth, from our heart. We're two dads with young kids. We're going to talk about what we think. Um, and yeah, if you want to stick around, stick around. That'll be great. Anyone puts any negative or stupid comments, you're going to get a simple response with a smiley face and a thumbs up, which translates to "well done, you're an idiot." And if you put genuine content, we'll gladly write back. As I said, this is just from us talking. Um, Tips, how you going?
I'm good, mate.
I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this one's been on the pipeline for a while, hasn't it?
It has, yes. I'll just quickly before we start. So I was born in the 80s, and I was taught this is what I was taught about genders, all right, and I still believe this to this day. So in the 80s, I was taught if you were born with a sausage-looking thing or a chipolata or an eggplant or a cucumber, guess what? You're a male. If you were born with a hole or what some would say an axe wound or
You can say vagina on the radio, mate. We should be right to say it.
you're a female, all right. And somewhere from the 80s to now, 2024, it's gone all wok-eyed because there's now over 74 different genders people can identify as. Um, I'll just share my page. I'll show you. Hang on. It's phenomenal. Look at this. So we'll go through a couple of them. So obviously, besides male and female and transgender, there's 72 other genders that people can identify at 72 from the two that I was taught about. Like it's oh,
It says a lot about where the world's going and where society is at the moment, doesn't it?
yeah, absolutely, and it's scary because I've got young kids, and if we just kept to what we learnt in the 80s, like your male and female, we wouldn't have three-quarters of the issues we have now, would you? You wouldn't be worried about your child going to the toilet with
No.
someone with a schlong walking in that looks like a guy. Oh my God, if I ever see that anyone follows my kids in the toilet, look out.
What was it? That swimmer was it an American swimmer? That male that was competing against the girls and was in the change rooms getting changed with the girls.
The bloody joke. Listen, let's get in,
But
let's get into
yeah,
the genders, all right? Let's start, all right? So we'll pick one here. We've got agender. Number one, agender. The person who does not identify themselves with or experience any gender. They can also be called null gender, genderless, gender void. Well, look, with all due respect, if you obviously don't know, I'll give you a quick tip how I would educate someone who didn't know. Just look down, have a look. It'll tell you what you are.
I don't know. Like, I'm going to say this a lot. I don't know how someone gets to the stage where they've got themselves in this position.
Yeah,
Like, how can you like call yourself genderless?
I don't know.
Like, let's be honest. Why are we giving these guys the fuel and giving them the airtime and giving these people their 15 minutes of fame? Because it it's absolutely ridiculous.
Just remember, we live in a free country of Australia. We still have right of freedom of speech. They haven't taken it away from us yet. Just remember, we're speaking on our freedom of speech.
Maybe we do need to become a communist country.
Yeah, well,
Like,
is there
oh,
any countries out there that don't you know there's none of this shit? Is there any countries like that where you get stoned to death, killed, or whatever if you do that stuff?
look, I probably put my hand on my heart and could probably name a couple countries that you wouldn't see this sort of shit happening. Um, but like, do I name them? I can if you want me to, but I think, but
Now let's move
uh,
on to another one. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck here debating the whole time. All right. Then now you got abimigender. Okay, this is
How
associated
do you
with
spell that?
Abimegender. And this is associated with being profound, deep, and infinite. I don't even know
What?
what that means.
I don't even know what that means.
No. So
Being deep and infinite.
look, cross that off the list. There's now only 71.
That's stupid. Oh
Uh,
my.
number 3 on here, you've got Adamus gender, and that is a gender that is identifiable or indomitable. People identifying with this gender refuse to be categorized in any particular gender identity.
Isn't that just the same as the other one?
Yeah, it's the same as the first one.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
They don't have any gender. They don't identify. What's
Look down. If you anyway,
we need images of what these people look like.
um, oh, well, I could tell you, go to the African safari, you might find them in there. Now,
What was that one? Sorry, what was that one? Just
Adamus,
spell it out for me, and I'll do some searching while you're talking.
Adamas gender.
Adama.
S.
What is it?
Adamus
AS.
gender. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Wow.
Crack on, yeah, crack on.
All right, we're not going to go through all of them. So here we've got affect to gender. Affect to gender, all right? This is based on a person's mood swings or fluctuations.
So every woman's one of these because they get mood swings and fluctuations every month.
So do men. So do I. But I know.
So your gender changes on how you feel.
Yes,
Is that what
essentially.
it's saying?
That's what it's saying. How is that a thing? How is society allowed to brainwash this crap into kids?
And that's the worst part. We're letting this get to the kids and get to our schools.
Speaking
There
of,
was there was a chick in America that sued her parents for giving birth to her because she did not give them consent.
wow. Yeah, right, okay. Did they win that lawsuit?
I have no idea.
Sure. If the judge said yes, yeah, the parents owe the kid money, I think that judge needs to be incarcerated and possibly that electric chair be brought back to reality.
When Red Bull first came out, Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah.
Someone actually sued Red Bull because it didn't give him wings. Legit. This happened in America.
Wow. Wow. Going back to school. So I had a mate sent me a photo. He's got a daughter going into school. Anyway, he had to fill out a form. I won't mention the school. Had to fill out a form. And one of the questions on there, he took a photo of it, is a pronoun question. What does your child pronoun want to be identified as? And it's got like 3 boxes you could tick. Him, her, or sorry, him, he, him, her, she, or they, their,
Them. They, them.
they, them, or something. On 4 or 5-year-olds' paperwork.
So this is her enrollment form
Yes,
to start school.
yes.
See, that's what makes it so sad. This is parents are forcing this upon the kids, and it's even worked its way through the education system where it's coming out in our document. It's coming out in documentation now. Like when did the world become so? I know you don't like me saying swearing, but so fucking soft. Um,
Well, it has to be from the 80s when we were born.
no,
It
not
was all right then. It's somewhere between the 80s and now, and I'm going to say
no. I reckon it's
2013, 14.
last. 5 years. But even then, it was starting to go downhill. Like
I remember. I
how
remember.
soft society's become.
You might remember this too, because obviously we've been in the same organisation at one point in our lives. When you fill out a form, and I'm pretty sure it might have been 2014. Remember when you go to drop down box, you fill your name, blah blah blah, and then it had what sex you are. Do you
Yeah,
remember when it went from two options to three?
no. I've only noticed that really in the last since I've been out. I never noticed it while I was in.
So I remember this quite vividly. And there's a drop down box. You had male, female, or X. That was your options.
That was while you're in
Yes,
as part of their documentation.
yes. Filling out forms, online forms. And I'm
And
pretty
people
sure
like
that
this,
would have been,
and people that, and they want people like this to join up and defend the country.
yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
Yep.
It's
But
a joke.
going back to what your mate told you and sent you a picture of,
Yes.
what else? Because we talked about this today. What else have they told you? Have you found out about what's going on in schools?
Oh,
About the
yeah. So up where I am, there's two schools with these things called kitty litters, where for some reason people are identifying as cats. By people, I mean human beings who were born into this
kids?
human kids identifying as cats. And in saying that, what about the poor bastard that's got to clean said kitty litter?
So does this kid pull its pants down and just shit in the classroom?
I don't know. I don't
How
know.
does it
I'm
work?
not going to mention the schools that they are, but tell you what, if I had
But
kids at school, I'd be dragging them straight out and putting them into somewhere else.
kids aren't born this way. Kids don't have these tendencies. It's got to be pushed on them from external. It's like a kid isn't born a racist. There's no such thing as racism or hate
No,
in a child. It's pushed upon them, and it's learnt. It's stuff they've learnt from their parents or their
hanging around the
surround,
wrong people.
their friends, or what they see in the public.
Yeah,
And I tell you what, I've said this to you before. The world really needs to have a good hard look at the way it's going, because in 50 years' time, um, if I'm still around, mate, I feel sorry for my grandkids.
and I reckon that's why a lot of people aren't having kids because there's still a lot of normal people out there from our generation where we're old school and you don't want it like you don't want to bring up kids in this world, you know?
It's, it's hard, eh? Just to think. It's hard thinking about the world's going to get a lot worse before it gets better again. Like that saying that I've heard this a lot of times on thing. Tough times make hard men make easy times make such and such.
Yeah,
It's the perfect. It's exactly what's happening to the world today.
yeah. But look,
Um, Easy times make soft men, and soft men create hard times.
yes. Um, my theory is if we just went back to when it was more simple, so to say, when there wasn't all this bullshit going around. Um, when there was, your male, your female. I can live with I can live with liking the same sex. Okay,
Yeah, look, that's
okay,
just part of life. You
you,
love who you love. That's no
that's
issue at
right.
all.
If you're a bloke and you want to come home to a bloke on the couch and you're fascinated about the pole, well, that's okay. That's no issue, and vice versa. If you're a female and you want to come home, sit on the couch, with another female and cross legs, play scissors, rocks, Chris, whatever the hell they call it. That's fine. I'm all for that. But anything other than that, I think. Look, my
Yeah,
thoughts. I think. I don't know if I can say this, but I think it's a mental illness. I think it's
100%, mate. There is like I know what mental illness is like firsthand, and I'm not even nowhere near as messed up as what these people are.
I tell you, this. I follow a couple of people on social media who do duets of videos where they, people like these people identifying as cats or this or that, whatever it is, and they duet the thing, and then like, um, oh, gee, it's hilarious. Tommy the Cowboy, he's hilarious. That fella.
Tommy the Cowboy.
Yeah, you got to watch him, man. It's good. That's if you ever watch this. I love your stuff, mate.
Oh
But
no, what's another one? Give us another one.
oh, mate, I don't even want to go. There's too many to go through. I can we just yarn
Just
about
pick
it.
one. Just pick one. So go one from each letter. A, B, C, D,
Go
or
down.
whatever. Couple.
We'll go down number 72. All right, here we go. Omnigender.
Omni.
Omnigender. Having or experienced all genders. Now I know this is made up bullshit because that's how can you do that?
How can you experience all 74 genders
I don't know.
if there are supposedly 74 genders?
I don't know, Tips.
How
Who is it?
we just talked about this. Like seriously, what's going through people's brains?
I don't know. Can I ask you another question? What's your thought on this LGBTQBCABCDEFG group? What are your thoughts on them?
Apparently, there's over like 100 different pride flags, mate. They've it's. I don't want to. It's hard because that community is generating so much power. Like I'm all for same sex marriage, whatever. I don't care.
I'm
You
the
do
same
you.
page.
But the thing I hate is when it's pushed on society. It's pushed on the world. My question is, right? How much do we celebrate Pride throughout the year? There's a Pride month, Pride whatever.
I honestly don't celebrate any of it, mate. So I don't
But
know.
how many days are recognized throughout the year for all this? Quite a bit, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah,
How many days are set aside for veterans?
one.
For people that have fought in wars, for those before us and those after us. How come they don't get the recognition?
Sorry, two. You've got Anzac Day and Remembrance Day.
Yeah, and America has Veterans Day as well. So a handful, less than a handful of days that are there to support the volunteers, the ones that put their hands up, put the uniform on their chest,
Yeah,
and do all the tough stuff. Yet we're celebrating days and weeks and months for these twats.
it's
Like that's where the world's going to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like another thing when I was growing up, which we had multicultural day at school, and I used to love multicultural day because everyone would bring a plate of food in at school. Obviously,
That's great.
I was Italian, and
Yep.
lasagna. We had Islanders, we had Aboriginals, we had Chinese, we had everything, and it was just so good getting together
Yep.
and just trying food.
Yep.
I love having a day for something to remember, to recognise. I'm all for that.
Anything that brings people together is great, mate.
Yeah, but
100%.
not overdoing it. You know what I mean?
No.
Not like, yeah, I'm all for that. I just think, yeah, I think that what's that thing they do in Sydney that you go to every year?
But the Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that one. What do you know about that? You're
That,
there every year.
oh, oh, yeah, I've been on a few flights. Look, I don't have an issue with it. That's fine. Um,
See, Toyota pulled out a sponsor and that something crap, whatever it was.
yeah, I don't have an issue with that at all. Like I said, you can love who you love. That's fine. The gay and lesbian Mardi Gras has been it's an iconic Sydney thing.
Yeah,
It's been around long before all this shit that we're talking about now. Um, yeah, I don't have an issue with it at all.
yeah.
Um, can you hear my wife in the background yelling?
No, that's her agreeing with us. But keep going.
Hey?
That's her agreeing with us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just What a world we live in. What's another one? Give me another one.
You want to
Let's
know?
go.
It's
Yeah, let's go.
flying you up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, gender witched. The person is inclined toward the notion of having one gender, but does not know which. That sounds like the first one again.
It's gender witched. So it is like, which one do I choose? I don't know which one I want to be. Is that what I meant?
Yeah, pretty much. Then you've got above that, you've got gender queer. The individual blurs the perceived boundaries of gender in relation to the gender binary or having just one type of gender. Sounds the same.
I'm confused.
Here, oh, well, we've already done gender
Not
fluff.
hard, but
Here we go. Gender fuzz, number 64. Gender
fuzz.
fuzz, Fuzz. More than one gender is blurred together. Um,
Is that like after they've just smoked 3 cones?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, all look like one person to me.
If the government made, look, if the government made this law, that what I said at the start, right? Sausage, hole, male,
You can say
no,
doodle vagina. That's fine.
doodle, vagina,
Yes.
cucumber, cave of wonders, whatever you want to call it. That's it. If we just went back to that, we wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah. Look, and I understand there's people out there. Look, there's males out there that don't want to be a male. That's fine. If you don't want to be a male, you don't become a fucking cat or a dog or a tree, right? If you don't want to be a male, you're a female. It's simple. If you don't want to be a female, you're male. That's fine. I can deal with that. But we don't need 74 different things that are all the same. And we don't need humans becoming cows and dogs and cats and shitting in classrooms.
The only ones
You
that,
know what I mean?
the only ones,
That's when this.
the only ones that can legally become cows are exes, and that's it.
What? Oh, you mean X's as in EX?
Yes.
E-I-E-I-O. Righto, give me another one.
Oh, mate, they're all the same. Let's have a look.
Give me another one. Hit me with one.
SP gender.
SP gender?
SP, ESSPIGENDER. The
Oh, yep.
individual relates their gender identity with spirits.
Oh.
Are we talking a Jack Daniels or the bourbon, or are we talking
Oh, yes. This
spirit?
could be one for alcoholics. No. Well, you don't believe in spirits in the afterlife, so this is no good for you. You wouldn't be able to be SP gender.
No,
Do they go to a seance or something and a ghost tells them to become a cat?
I don't know. Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
If your son comes home from school one day and says, walks
Dude,
in, undoes his lunchbox, says, "Dad, we're ready for the gym this afternoon, ready to go. I want to lose weight, getting fit, getting healthy.
that's
Dad,
what we're doing now.
can you make me a kitty litter?" What are you going to say?
I would.
Would you get the belt off straight away?
No. I'd ask for an explanation. I'd say, "What do you need a kitty litter tray for, mate?" Then if he said to me, "Dad, I want to start shitting in classroom because I think I'm a cat,"
This is my next question. Yeah.
um, I would. Yeah, I'd sit him down and have a few hard words, a bit of a life lesson.
You'd have to think where you went wrong, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But look, I would soon re-educate him. That's for sure. I'd say, who's put this shit in your head for starters?
Another question, because look, some families go through this, and I want to know your opinion. All right, you're hey, you could ask me questions. You're just too slow. Your middle child comes to you after winning a game of netball. They win the grand final. Happy as Larry. You go to Macca's, get your 6-pack nuggets, your sauce,
Mm,
having a yarn. Turns
yeah.
around and says, "Dad, I want to become a bloke." What do you do there?
I'll just say, well, that's physically impossible, Dale.
Well, it's not
Why
now.
would you want to do something stupid like that? Uh, I said, well, unless,
You see what I mean? But
yeah, it's,
can you imagine these poor families, mother and fathers that have to go through this?
but yeah, I honestly, that would scare the living shit out of me.
Nope, mate, well, I wouldn't, because you know me, I'm a hard person. I'm pretty
You're
down.
not hard. You're not hard at all. You're just a loving dad that's got tradition in your family. Your family, your parents done a certain way, and you've followed that tradition, and it's all it is. You're not hard in any way. You're just a family that's run a certain way.
When I say that, I'm talking about compared to a lot of other families around at the moment.
No, but you look at your kids. Look how well behaved they are. But it's not just kids that your kids aren't just well behaved because they live in fear. That's bullshit. How much fun do you have with your kids, and how much fun do your kids have in life?
Every day, every day.
They love life, mate. There's nothing. You're not a hard parent. You're
But
just
this is what I'm scared about: is when they're no longer in my care full time, when they're at school, and then when all this bullshit starts
no,
to take a place.
no, no. Have faith in the values that you're putting in your kids.
Yeah, no, I do, I do.
So yeah, no, you'll have nothing to worry about, mate.
Another question.
Right. Yeah, but
So, what if any one of your kids brings a friend over to play or hang out,
yeah,
and they are identify as something abnormal? Do you,
okay.
as parents, what would I? I don't know what the hell I would do. More along the lines of sorry, you're not coming around. But what would you do in that situation?
Well, I wouldn't, excuse me, I wouldn't be catering for it
Yeah,
if there was special requirements or something they needed. If it's something I didn't believe in, no, it wouldn't happen. Would I stop my daughter from hanging around that person? No, not necessarily. Depending on what it was.
yeah,
Um, I would I would have a talk to my child, obviously, and say, hey, you're not having any of these feelings, or are you having any of those sort of feelings, or do you think the same sort of way? I'd make sure I knew what they were thinking first.
yeah.
Um, then if my kid was just happy being a normal kid, and she was happy being friends with a person that's not, I guess I could handle that. Um, as long as that person's not trying to force it onto my kid as well,
Yeah.
that's when I reckon I would have to jump in and intervene as well.
Hmm.
Long long's each person just happy within themselves and not trying to force anything on each other, I could deal with it. So, but that's the big thing. That's for me. Like, as long as no one's trying to force that shit upon my kids, when they try and force that shit upon my kids, that's when I'll step in. Um, but I've never look. I can only give my kids advice, mate. Like every day, I'm learning. Like
Oh,
tomorrow,
yes.
yeah, tomorrow was a new part of my life. Like I've never, yeah, it's hard to say.
Another question. This will ruff a few feathers of people. I'm not at that stage yet because I take my children to the bathroom.
Yeah,
They can't physically do it. What if you're, say, out walking with your, not so much as your boy, but your girls,
yeah,
and you stop, they go to the bathroom, and said person walks in who looks, you know what I mean, like shouldn't be going in there, but they identify as that and they go into the same bathroom. What do you do there?
What do you mean? What's happened in the bathroom? Like,
No, they've just
are you saying like a male that identifies as a female
yes,
and goes into the female bathroom?
yes.
Okay, so as long as my daughters are in their cubicle and they don't know about that person in their cubicle and he goes and does his business. Look, I don't like it. No, I loathe the idea. It sends shivers down my spines. But at the end of the day, if my kids don't even know that person's in there, I don't care.
Yeah.
What can you do apart from walking up and grabbing him by the scruff of the neck?
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's what I'd do. I wouldn't grab my scruff
That,
because that's assault, but I'll go right up and say, right, you fucking do anything or touch anything
yeah,
or hear my girl scream, look out. That's
yeah.
the last piss you're taking.
You'd be standing at the doorway, wait. That's for sure.
100%. 100%. And I would probably politely say, because there's normally at every bathroom, there's a disabled toilet for a reason.
Yeah,
Disabilities aren't just physical, they are mental as well. Remember
yeah.
that. Now, that's
But
my.
you know what? My girls are at the stage now where if they're in danger, they'll probably just kick in the nuts. So
Oh, yes.
they know if they're in trouble, and a male's threatening them, just go straight for the ball sack, mate. Just grab it and twist it, or just kick as hard as you can.
That's one way to know your gender. If you're a male,
What
identify
are these, motherfucker?
a swift
You're
kick.
not meant to be in here.
I guarantee you'll be identified as a male once more fucking hits it.
100%. When they're black and blue.
Oh, mate, look, I'm not going for the rest because the rest of them, they're all just the same shit, just got a different name.
Give me one more.
One more, you reckon?
One more. Come on. This is the last one for the night if people are still listening.
All right. Dom gender. DOMGENDR. The individual has multiple genders with one dominating over the rest.
What? Is that's also known as a what's a person with multiple personalities called? Psychopath? No.
Narcissist?
No. Hey, Dal.
Bipolar?
That's it. What's a person with multiple personalities? Person with multiple personalities. Bipolar? Yeah, that's bipolar. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's not a fucking gender type. That's bipolar disease.
But I just
One gender dominating. What was it again?
multiple genders. You feel multiple genders, but you have one dominant gender.
Bipolar disease. That's also known as.
Yeah, it's tough stuff. But I'll tell
So
you
what if someone was a dog and a cat? Would the dog chase after the cat?
I don't know. I'll just shoot them both.
Lead poisoning.
It's all right. That's it.
Something our grandkids and great grandkids have got something to look forward to, eh?
Look, should we leave them with a message? Actually, you leave what your final thoughts are on the gender, and
Look,
what's your final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think, look, if my final thought is, if people want to be whatever they want to be, that's fine. Don't go pushing it on everyone else. Leave it within your own four walls. I don't want to know about it. The world doesn't want to know about it. If your kid wants to shit in a kitty litter tray, leave it at home. Like, I hate it when people push things upon other people. Like when Jehovah Witnesses come and knock on your door and preach about God. Piss off, I don't care. You can do whatever you want, don't come push it on me. So my final thing is don't care, don't want to hear about it, don't push it upon the world, and everyone will be happy.
That's spot on. I'm very similar. As I said, I'm still a firm believer. You're born either a male or a female. I can live with gay, bisexual. That's fine. Anything else, I don't want to know about it. Don't force it on me. Don't be in my face about it because I'll be gladly back in your face saying it's stupid. Don't force
Yeah.
it on my children. Don't force it in school. It should be something that's legalized only at 18 years of age, just like drinking, and just let kids be kids while they can, because life goes too
Yeah.
quick. That's my theory on it. Thanks for
100%.
the talk. Thanks for keeping it PG. As I said, if anyone find it,
Tried to, mate.
I apologise, but we're just speaking our mind. We will catch you on the next one.